recognize the personhood of enslaved people who had a legal status of being agents of their owners.
But the marriage wasn't legally recognized because they still could sell, they still could be sold to different plantations and have a break them apart. So a lot of times, even when they were having some marriages, they would say, till death do you part, or until distance, or until distance happens. Something to that effect. That's not right exactly. But another profound example of romance and resistance in the U.S. chattel slavery era is the story of Ellen and William Craft. This couple's extraordinary story begins with them putting their lives on the line to escape to freedom. Ellen, born in Clinton, Georgia, was a product of her master, Colonel James Smith's rape of her enslaved mother, Maria. William was an enslaved cabinet maker from Macon, Georgia. At age 11, Ellen was given as a wedding gift to Dr. Robert Collins of Macon, Georgia, where she met her future husband, William.
Ellen and William disguised herself as William's enslaver. I'm gonna say it again. She disguised herself as William enslaver, basically disguising herself as a man to get them past authorities. They were detained in Baltimore.
Boston on Christmas.
Boston?
Yeah. So yeah, they arrived in Boston on Christmas, and then they actually went over to London for a while. They were still, even though they escaped, sometimes they had to worry about slave catchers coming and trying to put them back in slavery. They went overseas for a little while, and then came back and started a business back in Macon, Georgia. One of the most profound examples of love and resistance in the U.S. chattel slavery era is the story of Harriet and Dred Scott. Harriet and Dred met and married in 1836 or 37 at Fort Snelling in Minnesota, or what was Wisconsin, but is now referred to as Minnesota. Harriet was owned by Lawrence and Eliza Telefero. Lawrence was an enslaver and Indian agent. He brought Harriet to Fort Snelling, where Dred had been assisting his enslaver, Surgeon John Emerson. And just think about that Dred was assisting a surgeon, so Dred had to have some medical knowledge. Dred wasn't...
I wish I could break all these chains binding me, and I wish you could feel how it feels to be me. Then you know that every man should be free. Then you know that every man should be free. The court clerk will now read the decision. Robert B. Tagley, U.S. Supreme Court Judge. We shall come to the conclusion that the African race, whether free or slave, were not intended to be included in the Constitution for the enjoyment of any personal rights or benefits. From the fact stated that Dred Scott is not a citizen and altogether unfit to associate with the white race, either in social or political relations, and so far inferior that they have no rights which the white man was bound to respect, and that the Negro might justly and lawfully be reduced to slavery for his benefit. Imagine this here be
people's son. They talk about getting back to your people, and it's like maybe you were, what y'all mentioned about with the cotton piece and us being sent different places.
Right.
I even think of the story. What's the brother's name? I think it was Charles Ball. And he was getting ready to be sold. And he said he wanted to go back and see his folks before he was sold. Don't worry about it. You get another family in Georgia. You know. So, But even in spite of that, people were still trying to find relatives.
Right.
After they were sent. So it wasn't like that some people say that they destroyed all of that in us during slavery. You know, as what you all are saying, we were trying to maintain our connection, our love, and our bond with each other. So, you know, I think we have to look at that period, but we also have to look at what's happened since then
Yes.
to make us,
So separate.
uh-huh.
Take the legacy of slavery,
Yeah.
and even
Right.
just what you're saying, I was, like Dred was trying to buy himself his
Right.
freedom, but he was also trying to buy his family's freedom,
Right.
his children's freedom.
Them are Vesey, same people.
And think about that they would have to work and
Right.
save
Right.
to go back and buy,
Right.
to buy their person out of slavery. That's a lot of labor that's involved.